Hello, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If him, the Flora and Kaito was in My Hero Academia. I know it says MHA, but but trust me, I wasn't gonna try to spell the entire My Hero Academia. So yeah. So in the last video that I did, the one where she appears in, was what if Deku was wacky, overpowered, or powerful person? And yeah, she's a daughter of Poison Ivy and Zuko. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to remake her into her own separate character. Like, basically, it it takes place in another alternate timeline where she's basically born from a different family. Because in this one, in this what if thing right here, she's been born from or she was born / created by Poison Ivy by using Zuku's blood to create it. And yeah. So now we move on to the brand new one. What if Flora was, and Kaito, I can't even say the character's name. This guy, I know it's an AI generated, and his leg is missing, is because of an AI generated. So yeah. So and he's actually a fresh new character. I have not done one since what if for Mumu Tsunatori, the Blade Man, Dragon Man for Meliodas' family and all that stuff. So I decided to create a new character. 2 new characters. So her and him. So yeah. So let's begin. Zuko and Zumi, I keep saying that. Sorry. So they both were born. So these two, him and her, were born from 2 different families. And both of them do really good in, like, school, like, basically straight A's all the way through. So, when they got their quirks evaluated, basically she has the power of the goddess of the infinite nature. Huh? And the other, this one, he was born with a power of 0. So basically it's a quirk that is called 0. He can nullify any attacks or anything. So yeah. So I took that concept of, like, so his concept for having the power of zero is what if powerful person or wacky person, you know how like Zuko transforms into that? Yeah, I kind of based it on that because he has a power of zero, and yeah. So let's continue. So a time skip to 15. So when they were growing up, they were friends before, like best friends. But then they, so their parents wanted them to start dating, like basically trying to push them to like, yeah, they're just weird. So now, Zuko, or so I keep saying that because, yeah. So they basically went, so a time skip to 15, they go to UA, or actually, she, or no, he, not she, he is 16, and hers is the same age. So, yeah. And they're not siblings, by the way. They were born from two different families. And so then the a time, so both of them get into class 1A, and Zuko in this what if was born with a power, or with a quirk that can, is similar to Todoroki's is ice and fire, but it's actually the, it is almost similar to like based on like how Momo has his creation. Yeah, well, Zuko has creation and destruction. So basically, his, no one knew about it until, or actually his family knew about it, and yeah. So he learns how to create stuff that can be overcharged. And like he could create a bullet that has a piercing power of a warhead. Yeah. So, yeah, he can charge things up to that. But he can also create stuff with, like, out of flames. So basically, like forging them out. So let's continue. So both her and him are in the class 1A. And they go to USJ. And then here comes the interesting part of the USJ, where the interesting part is that the Zuko, or so, her emotions got in the way. Like, she's just, because she was so scared of losing her friends when they're just students. And so what does she do? Or what does her powers do? Her powers basically activated and took control of her, causing everything around to become monsters and just around the USJ, and starts attacking everything. The villains, her own friends, and the teachers. But dumb luck that her boyfriend's around as he he runs up to, like, basically Bakugo, he runs up to Herm, and tells her to calm down, and as she she didn't know that he actually was in love with her from a very beginning, actually. He didn't want his parents to know that. So when he actually did defeat all the villains beforehand, and some of them got killed by her plants. Basically, her monster plants ends up eating the dead corpses of them. So, yeah. So, I'm talking about the villains. They're spawners, basically. So, when Shirakusen and Kirigiri, Kirigiri warps Shirakusen out of there, and with a Nomu, so that So then he went and hugged her, and because she was trying to hit on him, like, basically, literally, like, punching him, because her powers was, like, controlling her, like, because her emotions of her seeing her anger, or actually seeing or / imagining the scenario of her friends dying from the villains. But he walks up, and, like, he walks up to her, or let me say this. So he walks up to her and tells her to calm down, but she can't hear him because with her her powers were overwhelming her. But instead of, like, knocking her out, you know what he did? He kissed her right on the lips. And so then the power went away. Her powers, like, basically were not gone, but got nullified. As she looks at him, and she enjoyed it because she secretly loved him too. So, yeah. So then yeah. So the plants went back to normal plants. And yeah, some of them have blood on them. Because of the villains. But yeah, as so her powers have been nullified to by him. So yeah, to make sure she doesn't lose control. So as she was scared, as he basically plants her head in his chest so that as she basically was crying and in his arms as he says something calm down, we're all here, as he didn't tell her, or so she didn't look around of how much blood. So in order to keep her from seeing how much blood that was spilled home, was that he asked Mr. Izawa to or actually Mr. Izawa was knocked out by a villain. So he says, I'm going to take you out there so that okay, as he covers her eyes to make sure she doesn't see how much. Because all of her friends were standing outside, hey? And yeah. So he basically walks out with her as he tells them that your friends are still alive. All of us are still alive. As Ochako has so much respect for her that even, yeah, basically Ochako, all of her friends cared about her, or cared about them. Yeah. Those villains almost killed all of us. As she freaks out. As he's calms her down. So, yeah. But he is hers, boyfriend. So, she actually, was terrified of losing him. And also, losing her friends would be terrifying. So, yeah. So then with that much power, or she has, yeah. So, if you guys can't tell that I'm basing this what if on one of the books that I love is basically called Percy Jackson's Greek Gods, basically. Greek guns, basically. Basically goddess and, yeah, all that stuff. And no, I'm not cussing. It's just the... So, yeah. Where in the beginning part, there's nothing like basically how the Earth Mother Gia um um was walking by herself, and she basically wishes for a sky and blue and all that stuff. Well, she meets the and of the skies. I am not going to say his name because he'll probably basically think about it as a... Just say he's a guy. The one that's around us. Or if you go outside and look up towards the air. That's... Yeah. So, I'm basing this story off of that. So, but instead of the, like, nothing, like, basically at the beginning. So, yeah. So now, let's continue this what if. So, Suzuku, no, sorry. So after the USJ thing, she hangs around with everybody. And of course, Grapefruit was trying to, like, do weirdo things to her, but her boyfriend just knocks him out, sending him flying. Yeah. Yeah. So then the sports festival, or so 2 weeks, and, like, they really got closer after doing that. So they've been dating for a long time. So, yeah. Well, Zuko, not Zuko. Yeah, Zuko actually, during the 2 weeks, Ochako, this girl that has, like, the ones that I'm basically made a clown girl version, where she basically is Ochako's nightmare. So, yeah. And, yeah. She actually, the clown girl from a different what if, in that different universe thing, actually turned poor Ochako into basically a balloon animal. Like a balloon version of herself. With a little top hat. Or, what is that thing called? I forgot. Yeah. Because, yeah. And so, yeah. But that's in the one of the past what ifs thing. And so now we're talking about this what if. So, yeah. So Ochako and Zuko were, during the 2 weeks, they've been dating and getting closer. At the same time as the where the Kaito, who, and Flora were dating at the same time. So that, but both of them, or all four of them, are still friends to each other's. Like, they help each other's out. And I know My Hero Academia is over, but this is still my most favorite one. So now, let's continue. So, after that, Sports Festival, the Kaito, who asked his girlfriend, because he has a plan to, like, run all the way across, like, super fast. Like, because to him, physics to him, because of his powers, doesn't even apply to him. So he can move very, very fast, like Quicksilver or the Flash or any character that you could think of that could. Yeah, so he asked her to be late. So she jumps onto his back and he basically zips across the. Like, he didn't go cut across. He ran all the way around under a nanosecond with his girlfriend and on his back. Yeah. As he's like slows down, boom. Yeah. So then So if you guys, do you like this, like, kind of concept thing? And let me know in the comments below, and I'll do more of this concept. So let's continue. So after these, actually, let's time skip to make this video a little bit faster. To All Might versus All for One. So, yeah, All Might versus All for One. All Might was down, but not out. And the All for One says to All Might that your student, that girl, whom has enough power to rival mine, if as All Might knows he's talking about. No, you can't have her. Huh. You're too late. As Zucker's, or as basically, it's time for you to die. Boom. And out of nowhere, the Kaito, in his awakened state, like basically his powers were fully awakened, even evolving into a new power called Zero Destroyer. And so he absorbs the attacks, as he says in the deep, dark voice, no one should ever hurt my favorite idol. And also trying to steal my, as he says it, as her face, or this is her, like, hero outfit, by the way, I forgot to mention. but she's was mostly in her citizen outfit. Or the yeah. So when she heard he really loves her so much that even like she actually, as All for One says, the power of zero and the power of infinity are both hand in hand. As he says, I see why. You have the power of zero, and your girlfriend has the power of infinity. As All for One says, as that as All Might realizes why that they are dating and why they're always be together, as so his girlfriend jumps over the League of Villains to be right next to him. As her, as she tells him, thanks for coming. You're welcome. Okay? And so basically she she evolved herself, like basically her powers evolved. When she's near him, like basically she actually, her outfit turned into her superhero outfit. So yeah, and her powers increased it up to like not only levels, that includes his own power level too. As he looks at as they looked at All for One, and like, and he snarls, "Oh, you try to take her away?" And as he just runs up, and he absorbs the attacks. He did like dodge the attack in midair, and he says, "You have immortality." As he puts as he took away All for One's search quirk, and also killed immortality quirk. So All for One was done in a flash. As he just jumps backwards, so he's like, that was fun. Now, and so and this is like, man, and you're pretty powerful. As the League of Villains, or should I say all the villains are like coming right at them, as she uses her powers to basically, or their combined powers to like, yeah, it was called Heaven's Punishment thing. And so all of the villains were now basically the equivalent of a doll, basically. DOLL. Yeah. So, yeah. So, without further ado, yeah. So, a time skip. So, to the next day. So, after that, they're both powerhouses. And everybody's like, whoa, both of you are like true goddesses. Like basically, and the goddess. Man, I wish we had that power. And Ochako actually admitted it. And so all the girls are picking on Ochako. And because they're afraid that if they pick on someone that has godly powers or goddess, then they would probably get punished for it. Well, yeah. So then they asked Ochako, who are you dating? Well, I'm actually, as Ochako says this, I'm actually dating Zuko. As she says it with a straight face, or with a smile on her face. Yeah. And so then, yeah, so Zumi's like, yeah, both of you are meant for each other's. Because my brother actually loves you too. And he actually can. Sorry, give me a minute to like wake myself up or wake up my entire body. So, yeah. Well, Zumi ends up saying that my brother really loves you too, Ochako. If you went and asked him and like if he loves you 100%, because I know him real well because he's my twin brother. So yeah. And Ochako's face was like blushing because she realized that Zumi, he knew that Zuko loves Ochako and Ochako loves him. So that's not a secret. So yeah. So then the time skip. Or so actually before I forgot. Everybody asked Zumi, who are you dating? As let's say, or so, as Zumi's so embarrassed, because actually, one person that actually is in love with him, or with her, is actually the Bakugo. Yeah. Kosuke Bakugo. So yeah, they were talking about like dating preferences and all that stuff. Well, so then everybody's like still looks at because so then the time skip to the near future, and I'm skipping the overhaul fight because, yeah. Overhaul fight didn't even begin because he was at the All for One versus All Might arc, and he got absolutely sidelined. Basically, heaven's punishment thing. And yeah, so Ares was now safe. But yeah, so that time skip to the future. Zuko and Ochako gets married to Zuko. The him Flora gets married to Kento, and yeah, and plus it all went crazy. Is he on it? So peace out, Cub Scouts, and have good night or day. Depends on the time zones, and peace.